Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And in this one, we're going to be breaking down the new class tuning adjustments for patch 11.1. Which classes is Blizzard going to be bonking down with the nerf hammer this time around, and which ones maybe are going to be getting some buffs? That is what we are going to be finding out. But let's get started because this patch has a huge amount of changes. If you want to make sure you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, then make sure to smash the subscribe button. Supatease, you're getting a visual update. Glacial Advance is getting a new visual. Your 2-set bonus winning streak now stacks up to 6 times, down from 8, and your 4-set bonus looks like it's getting a bit of a nerf. Your Frost Scythe effectiveness cast from Frost Strike and Glacial Advance will be reduced to 30% from 50. Frost Scythe effectiveness upon losing winning streak has also been reduced from 125 to 100%. Frost Scythe's increased effectiveness on the main target has also been reduced by 40% down to 50. So a little bit of a nerf to Frost DK. You guys, when they nerf you guys, man, they just really nerf you guys. They do not like you DKs, but at least you're getting a new visual. Unholy DK, Liberation of Undermine 4-set bonus, fix an issue that caused winning streak to be removed while Dark Transformation was active. So bug fixes for you. For Feral Druid, 2-set bonus has been updated. Free Ferocious Bites are exempt from removing winning streak. So if you're getting some procs there, you're gonna be able to get a couple more bites in without losing your bonus. For Resto Druids, Mastery, Harmony of Effectiveness increased by 12%, and its scaling rate has been adjusted. They're doing a lot with Resto Druid, so I'm a bit worried about how it's all gonna come through. How important is Mastery still going to be for the specialization? Is it gonna fall flat and feel really weak, or is it just gonna end up being exactly the same as it was? Because I've been seeing numbers around Mastery adjusted a lot, and this is one of those things where it's like you're only really gonna know after all is said and done for a change like that. For Preservation Evoker, your 4-set bonus now works with Echoed Verdant Embraces. Liberation class set, Insurance Heal over time reduced by 30%. Your insurance healing from triggering its low health effect has also been reduced. Emerald Blossom has historically triggered Echo for consistency reasons, but this has made it difficult to weave these spells together effectively. We're updating Echo to no longer trigger from Emerald Blossom, so players who want to make use of Emerald Blossom can do so without wasting any active echoes. Interesting, a little bit of extra AoE healing you're going to be able to get out of that without having to use your echoes, but it's no longer going to be echoed, so you can maybe just press it. You're just going to be able to just press it, get a little bit of AoE healing. I don't think it's going to be that great in PvP, and they're just kind of lowering your overall healing from the set bonus with this one. For Hunter, Implosive Track Knockup Radius increased to 8 yards up from 5. Counter Shot got a new visual. Trank Shot is traveling faster. Aspect of the Cheetah has a new visual. High Explosive Trap has a new visual. Implosive Trap has a new visual. Post Haste has a new visual. And Disengage has new visuals. Okay, we're going to have to log on and test that, bro. We're going to have to log on and test. That's a lot of new visuals for Hunter. Bro, why does Hunter keep getting stuff, bro? There's other classes that have just been sitting in the basement waiting years for updates on spells. Hunter, you guys just getting everything, bro. You're getting your cake and you get to eat it too. You get a rework and a bunch of spell updates. Last time they did stuff like this for Ret Paladins and Dragonflight, they ended up being God mode, so bit interested to see if that ends up being the case. For Beast Mastery, you got a new talent, Thundering Hooves. Casting Explosive Shot causes all active pets to stomp at 200% effectiveness. That's a lot of AoE. Especially if you call the wild out. Poisoned Barbs has been updated. It now also applies Serpent Sting. Liberation of Undermine 4-set bonus has been updated. Potent mutagen damage increased by 100%. Telling you guys, this is gonna be the Hunter apocalypse. You know, the Red apocalypse is the Hunter apocalypse. Barb Shot got new visuals. Barb Shot travels faster. Serpent Sting is no longer tracked on nameplates for Beast Mastery only. And Explosive Venom has just been outright removed. For Dark Ranger, Black Arrow damage is being buffed by 15%. Okay. Fix an issue causing unnatural causes to benefit Black Arrow's direct damage rather than just its periodic damage. Okay, so that's even more damage on it. Withering Fire has been updated. Now triggers from Call of the Wild was every 3 bestial wraths and lasts for the duration of Call of the Wild. Okay, so I don't know if I like this because it's putting a lot of damage into Call of the Wild. No longer allows Black Arrow to ignore health requirements. Now grants Death Blow every 4 seconds for the duration of Withering Fire. These changes are targeted at simplifying Withering Fire and improving its consistency for Beast Mastery. I mean, it's definitely simpler as far as trying to line it up, but I feel like it's putting a lot of value in that one specific window of time, which, you know, historically they've been against trying to, you know, enable that type of cooldown stacking. For pack leader, shell cover now triggers at 60%, up from 40%, and its cooldown is getting reduced to 90 seconds. I think this is like a minor amount of damage reduction, so you're going to get it at a higher margin, so it actually has more time to soak damage, and you're able to get it more frequently. Pack mentality now reduces barb shot. Can we get defense stuff like that for Boomkin, man? Like, what? Pack mentality now reduces barb shot cooldown by 10 seconds, down from 18, so a little bit less cooldown frequency on barb shot. How the pack leader's related auras will now expire while out of combat. How the pack leader will be reapplied upon entering combat. Players have found it odd that how the pack leader aura advance and resolve while out of combat, so we're letting them fall off to reduce visual clutter. How the pack leader summon order is now reset on raid and mythic encounter start. That's where you summon in the boar and then the bear and then the wyvern. Fixed an issue where Dire Cleave is granting incorrect Beast Cleave damage. There's a couple of bug fixes. Not a lot for survival. A little bit more defense, but a little bit less damage, it seems like. For Marksmanship Hunter, you're getting another new talent. Bro, what is this? Unbreakable Bond. Regain access to call pet. Oh, yeah. The role players got really mad that they couldn't have their pets, so they're letting you get your pet back. Regain access to call pet. While outdoors, your pet deals 15% increased damage and takes 15% reduced damage. We appreciate your continued feedback with regards to 11.1 Marksmanship Update. We recognize that there is a community of marksmanship hunters that wish to retain access to their pets, while Marksmanship's unique Eagle pet will continue to be the source of their pet utility. Oh, my God. So this is like the worst of both worlds as a PvPer. You get a pet that's going to do nothing because you need, and so if you're CC'd, you can't use any of its abilities, right? So previously, if your pet wasn't CC'd, it could use these spells, but now those spells aren't coming from your pet, they're coming from you, but you still have a pet running around. Advantage, I guess, is that the pet can like keep people in combat, it can prevent people from capping bases at least, but I feel like it's actually worse for you that the utility is coming from you as opposed to your pet. I actually think it's a little bit worse. Intimidation has been updated. Now requires line of sight against non-players. Why only non-players? I thought this was legit just OP in PvP because it could stun through pillars. It's like only non-player. I guess you're allowed to stun through pillars. You're gonna be the only class. I think it's fine because the stun comes down from the sky. It's kind of unique, and Marksmanship Hunter doesn't really have a lot going on for it right now. So having like the ability to do that, I think is fine. And it's like one of the weakest stuns in the game, anyways. Liberation of Undermine force-hit bonus has been adjusted. Consuming lock and load now fires explosive shot at 300% effectiveness, up from 200. Explosive shot is kind of dookie for marksman, so it's not surprising to see it get buffed. Force-hit bonus updated now increases aim shot and rapid fire damage by 4%. With moving targets inclusion of the marksmanship talent tree, the season 1 tier bonus needs to be replaced. So that's good. They're staying on top of that. They're getting a bunch of bug fixes, issues. Double tap was not correctly reducing aim shots effectiveness in PvE and PvP. Just all bug fixes as they're coming through for marksmanship. For Dark Ranger, Withering Arrow updated no longer allows Black Arrow to ignore health requirements. Marksmanship does not struggle to produce death blow procs, so this effect was being largely wasted. Black Arrow damage increased by 15% as well. Fixed issue with Phantom Pain's interaction with double tap and aspect of the Eagle. Fixed an issue causing unnatural causes to benefit Black Arrow's direct damage rather than just its periodic damage. So they get the similar changes for Dark Ranger as BM. New talent for survival, Wildfire Arsenal. Quick shot and auto shots with two-handed weapons. Increase the direct damage of your next wildfire bomb by 4%, stacking up to 3 times. Casting coordinated assault will grant you 3 stacks of the Wildfire Arsenal. That's going to be a lot of cooldown damage on your wildfire bombs are going to hit really hard. Viper's Venom has been updated. Now also increases Mongoose Bite and Raptor Strike by 15%. Contagious Reagents has been updated. Now spread Serpent Sting to 4 nearby targets, up from 2. Explosive Expert has been updated. Now increases Wildfire Bomb and Explosive Shot damage by 2.5 to 5% damage. Bombardier has been updated and now grants 1 charge of Wildfire Bomb, down from 2. So your bomb hits harder, but you have less of them. Liberation of Undermine force-hit bonus redesigned. When your winning streak ends, your next Mongoose Bite or Raptor Strike deals 400% increased damage and reduces the cooldown. So they really want you to get Raptor Strike and Mongoose Bite more in the kit, it seems like. And Wildfire Bomb will be more, damage, but you won't be able to just spam it because it's getting a 6% baseline buff as well. A goal for 11.1 is to reduce how crowded Survival's rotation could feel and open up the opportunity to cast Raptor Strike or Mongoose Bite. Our goal with these changes is to reduce access to Wildfire Bomb and provide some throughput as compensation. So just moving damage out of Wildfire Bomb and moving into Raptor Strike or Mongoose Bite, that's going to feel like a nerf in PvP because those abilities require melee range as opposed to Wildfire Bomb. You just spam from range and do a lot of effective damage. So I think that'll likely feel like a nerf. You're getting the same defense buffs for Pack Leader with Shell Cover cooldown reduction and at a higher health. Pack Mentality now reduces Wildfire Bomb cooldown by 10, so your same cooldown reduction changes as the other 100 changes. Frenzy Strike damage, though, has been increased to 40% from 15, and that's probably... Okay, there was a bug. So they fixed the bug where it was doing way too much, and then they realized it's probably too low, and then they buffed it. How the Pack Leader summon order is now reset. Same changes there. The aura is the same changes here for Pack Leader. Arcane Mage, new talent, Intuition. Casting a damaging spell has a 5% chance to make your next Arcane Barrage deal 20% increased damage, generate 4 arcane charges. That's really OP. Intuition's buff duration has been increased to 6 seconds in an effort to help motivate less min-maxing around its usage and free up some cognitive load. If we feel Intuition is not accomplishing that goal, we will adjust it as necessary. New talent, Arcane Rebound. When Arcane Barrage hits more than 2 targets, it explodes, dealing light arcane damage to all enemies within 10 yards. This is a little bit of extra AoE. Aether Fragment has been updated. Intuition's damage bonus increased by 20%. Dude, Barrage can hit really hard. Resonance has been updated. Now increases Arcane Barrage damage by 15% per target hit beyond the first. We'd like to double down on Resonance AoE and Cleave Power, open up the opportunity for mages to pick up other talents in single target. So this is only going to be for AoE benefit now. I think was Resonance, it was like an execute range previously, it hit harder. Now it's just only if it's AoE. Lay Drinker has been updated. Now triggers from consuming clear casting was consuming Nether Precision. Chance to trigger increased to 40% up from 25. Ooh. Echo damage increased to 70% from 60. Lay Drinker's visuals have been updated. Our goal with these changes is to increase the likelihood that you'll have Nether Precision available when Lay Drinker procs. Arcane Explosion is doing 35% more damage. High voltage bad luck protection damage increased to 50% up from 10. Your 4-set bonus updated now increases arcane missiles and orb damage by 15%. With the inclusion of into the arcane talent tree, the season 1 tier set bonus needs to be replaced. Liberation of Undermined set bonus has been updated. Clarity damage bonus reduced to 5% from 8. And your 2-set bonus arcane 2-set proc rate no longer is increased by haste. Nether Precision no longer benefits Arcane Barrage. Oh, they reverted that. So you are going to... Oh my god, that means Arcane Barrage is going to hit really hard now. Okay. Aether Vision. We appreciate your feedback and patience as we continue to iterate 11.1 change for Arcane Mage. The community has made it clear that Aether Vision's more prescriptive gameplay is not the direction they wish to see Arcane move in, so we've opted to retire it. We'll continue to monitor feedback and discussion around the complexity of barrage conditionals and make changes if we deem it necessary. Bro, you can't mess with people's big barrages. That's all Arcane's got going for it, dude. You can't mess with that. Spell Slinger, they reverted the change. Splintering Sorcery now generates a splinter when you consume Nether Precision. So this reverted basically everything did last week for Arcane and make Barrage big boy Barrage. For Sun Fury, Burden of Power has been updated. Now benefits Arcane Barrage. Okay, this is Barrage getting a lot of stuff. We have received feedback that can be frustrating to have to swap to Arcane Blast and AoE, so we're letting Burden of Power work on Arcane Barrage to help continue the flow across all target counts. Arcane Soul has been updated. Additionally, causes each cast of Barrage during Arcane Soul to increase Barrage damage by 15%. Oh my god. Fixed an issue that caused Arcane Phoenix to occasionally cast the player's version of Meteorite. For Fire, your 2-set bonus, Jackpot, reduces the cooldown of combustion only by 2 seconds, down from 3. And Hyperthermia's trigger rate has been reduced, so just nerfs to Fire. Sun Fury fixed an issue that caused Arcane Phoenix to occasionally cast the player's version of Meteorite. For Frost, Comet Storm, Glacial Assault, Wintertide, and Lonely Winter have had their positions changed. They just completely reverted that. Talent tree change is completely reverted. Wintertide is once again a 2-point talent. Fixed an issue with Wintertide's aura being removed inconsistently. Wintertide's tilde was updated to better communicate its effects. Now they wanted to make Frost cast more. They tried changing stuff, and now they just reverted all of that. So I don't know. I don't know if they're actually able to get to that, and be able to achieve what I think they wanted to do with this, where you're you're just proc loaded. You have so many procs on your screen, and you cast a little more. Spell Slinger, Spell Frost teaching Frozen Orb damage bonus reduced to 15% from 30. All Splinter damage, though, has been increased by 20%, and Ice Lance will do 20% more damage. That might make this more appealing for PvP, just because of Ice Lance being included on this. But you lose out a lot on basically the Comet Storm Meteor. That's like a really big hit, at least, from the other other hero talent tree. For Frost Mage. For Brewmaster Monk, Purified Chi maximum stacks reduced to 6 from 10, and now increases Celestial Brew's absorb amount by 35% per stack, up from 20. So you're going to be able to get to max stacks faster and get a maximum benefit faster. For Mistweaver Monk, spinning crane kick damage is getting increased by 10%. This seems to be like the Hunter Monk patch is how I'm kind of leaning into it so far. Fix an issue that causes enveloping mist caused by Misty Peak or Jade Bond to cancel Celestial Conduit. Fix an issue that sometimes allows spells to be cast during Manatee's channel. Hello. Conduit of the Celestials damage has been increased by 30% for Mistweaver. August Dynasty no longer has a proc cooldown. Was 8 seconds. Mastery of Harmony, Overwhelming Force damage decreased though to 5% from 15. For Windwalker, Ordered Elements now reduces chi cost by 1 during Storm, Earth, and Fire. Was Rising Sun Kick reduces chi cost during Storm, Earth, and Fire for 7 seconds. I don't know the exact implications of this if you're a Windwalker main, because this is a lot of Windwalker jargon. Windwalker's probably I have like the least experience on this expansion, so it seems like a big deal. Let me know in the comments down below. I feel like it could be just because Storm, Earth, and Fire is like the major cooldown that you're operating around, but I don't know if it's good or bad. For Holy Paladin, Herald of the Sun, fix an issue that caused Second Sunrise to sometimes decrease the healing of Holy Shocks from Rising Sunlight. For Prot Paladins, Strength and Adversity reduced to 3% parry per enemy struck from 5. Strength and Adversity now displays with stacks. Cooldown reduction from Uther's Council reduced to 15% from 30. Refining Fire damage reduced by 30%. So a lot of nerfs to Prot Paladin. Retribution Paladins are getting a 5% damage buff. Empyrean Hammer's damage output was higher than desired on the overall breakdown. We're redistributing that power across the rest of the abilities. Good. Hammer of Light initial hit now benefits from Final Reckoning. Empyrean Hammer damage, though, has been reduced by 30%. Hammer of Light hits way too hard, dude. Hits way too hard. I think it's good. Now, Disc. I've seen a lot of people saying Disc is going to be super OP. So what are these? Void Summoner has been redesigned. It now reduces the cooldown of Shadow Fiend, Mindbender, and Void Wraith by 50%. That's a lot. Priests may now slowly move during Ultimate Penitence and can control their landing upon finishing the channel. Okay, so you can fly now. Evangelism healing increased by 40%. Pain and Suffering now increases the duration of Shadowward Pain by 2 seconds per talent point invested. Shadowward Pain damage is just being increased by 15%. Divine Procession now prioritizes the lowest duration atonement on nearby allies. Hopefully not pets. Expiation no longer increases the damage of Shadowward Death and Mind Blast. Instead, it now deals damage equal to 200% of the duration consumed by Shadowward Pain. Penance has many stacking modifiers that affects its power, which has made it feel weak when the player doesn't have all these modifiers active. We'd like Penance to still feel good on its own, so we're reducing the effectiveness of Power of the Dark Side and Harsh Discipline, while also increasing the base damage and healing of Penance. You see how like on some classes they're taking the modifiers away, making the baseline spell hit harder, but then on other classes they're making the cooldown stacked more, and it seems like there's like this conflict of what is the direction to go. Do the cooldowns matter more than the baseline ability, or should the baseline ability just feel good all the time? Harsh Discipline now only increases the number of penance bolts by 1 per talent point invested. Was up to 2. The buff will continue to stack up to 2 times, but will now represent charges instead of increasing the number of bolts per stack. To be fair, I think this is making Dispraise easier to play. Like you just press penance, it's good all the time. Power of the Dark Side increases the damage and healing of penance by 30% down from 50. The cooldown of penance is now reduced by haste, and penance damage and healing is being increased by 50%. So this definitely just makes Disc easier to play. And Disc was already the most popular healer, so if it's easier to play, it's going to be even more played, I think. For Holy, Lightweaver now increases the healing of Heal and Prayer of Healing by 18% down from 25%. Trail of Light now replicates 25% of the healing done to the previous target down from 35%. Dispersing Light now replicates 5% of the healing done to 400 allies. Just Holy Priest nerfs. Prayer of Healing increased by 20% though. Eternal Sanctity now extends the duration of Apotheosis by 1. This just all feels like nerfs. Disc Priest stonks up, Holy Priest stonks down. Shadow, hey, you got mentioned. It looks like just bug fixes, but you got mentioned this time. Fixed an issue causing Void Bolts and Liberation Undermine set bonus to not trigger Shadowy Apparitions. Fixed an issue to not trigger from casting various harmful spells. These all seem good for you. Bonus to interrupt channels and not fire a Void Bolt when spell queues. These just all seem good. They seem good. All right, Shadow Priest, you guys are looking good with the bug fixes. Outlaw Rogue 4-set bonus now grants 16% increased chance to roll 2 or more matches from 12%. Sleight of Hand now grants 16% increased chance to roll. These bonuses are now weighted for each potential outcome to grant an appropriate total bonus. Each bonus increases the chance to roll a 2 buff by 12% and a chance to roll a 5 buff by 4%, combining the total 16% chance to roll 2 or more. Bro, I don't want Outlaw Rogue getting stronger than it is. Elemental Farseer. Maelstrom Supremacy now increases the healing of Healing Surge and Chain Heal by 15%, up from 8. Meh. Stormbringer Arc Discharge can now accumulate up to 2 charges. So not a lot for Ellie. For Enhancement Shaman, Liberation of Undermine 2-step bonus has been updated. Your spells and abilities have a chance to activate a winning streak, increasing the damage of your Storm Strike, Lava Lash, and Doom Winds by 5% up to 25%. Maelstrom weapon spenders have a 1% chance to remove winning streak per Maelstrom weapon spent. This seems just so annoying to play around. There's a 1% chance that, like, right before I activated Doom Winds, I removed my buff. Oh, crap. 4-step bonus has been updated. When you lose your winning streak, the wind shifts into Doom Winds for 4 seconds. When Doom Winds deals damage, your next Crash Lightning deals 20% increased damage to 100%. This effect can be stored up to 10 stacks. Additionally, Crash Lightning deals 50% more damage to your main target. That sounds like a whole bunch of modifiers that make Crash Lightning one-shot people. Voltaic Blaze chance to trigger has been slightly reduced. Forceful Winds now increases the damage of Wind Fury weapon by 15%, down from 20. For Stormbringer, Tempest is getting a 15% damage increase. Awakening Storms damage increased by 20%. For Totemic, Imbuement Mastery now increases the chance for Wind Fury weapon to trigger by 5%, down from 10. And Imbuement Mastery now increases the damage of Wind Fury weapon by 8, down from 15. So it sounds like they're trying to shift people into Stormbringer, which is already kind of one-shot people with Ascendants. A bit scared about that Crash Lightning change. For Resto Shaman, Master of the Elements now lasts 30 seconds up from 15. For Farseer, all Ancestor Healing now benefits from Mastery. Oh, that's a really good buff. But then all Ancestor Healing is reduced by 15%. So they're just Mastery dependent. But it'll probably end up being more healing because you stack Mastery. Ancestors now cast Healing Wave when the Shaman casts Healing Wave. Healing Wave heals for slightly more than Healing Surge. Interesting. Whispering Waves now also duplicates Healing Wave healing done by Ancestors. Maelstrom Supremacy now increases the healing of Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Wellspring, Downpour, and Chain Heal by 15%. And Initial Elemental Reverb now increases Riptide healing by 10%. So buffs for Farseer. That's a dub. For Warlock, Drain Life damage is increased by an additional 100%. Okay. Maybe they really want you to be using Drain Life a little bit more. Demonology, Liberation of Undermine 2-step bonus has been updated. The chance of your spell and ability summoning a greater Dreadstalker has been reduced. Unlucky Demo Locks. Destruction, Liberation of Undermine 2-step bonus has been adjusted. Jackpot now fires a flurry of 6 Demon Firebolts down from 12. Unlucky Destro Locks. For Arms Warrior 2-step bonus, your abilities have a chance to begin a winning streak, increasing the damage of Overpower by 5%, stacking up to 10 times. And Overpower has a 15% chance to end your winning streak. Your 4-step bonus, when winning streak ends, you gain 2% haste, and your Mortal Strike and Cleave damage is increased by 2% per stack of winning streak you had for 12 seconds. So it's just feeding into the default stack Overpower Smash Mortal Strike. It's just making that rotation stronger. Protection, Luck of the Draw duration increased to 12 up from 10. Shield charge cooldown reduced to 12, or increased to 12 up from 6. And fix an issue causing Luck of the Draw to incorrectly modify Shield Slam's critical strike chance. I think we've got some PvP changes as well. So they're updating the new tree form. No longer prevents the other spells from being cast for its duration. Instead, Bloom Blossom will just override the tree form keybind. And Mass Blooming will override Efflorescence. So Bloom, Burst, and Mass Blooming healing increased by 30%. And you also move a little bit faster. For Fire Mage, Fireheart PvP talent has been removed. Is this the one with your barrier? I know there's a lot of PvP talents for Mage that I was seeing is probably going to be dead on arrival. And I can't remember this one off the top of my head, but I think that was the one related to your barrier. For Sun Fury, Arcane Phoenix non-exceptional spell damage increased by 100%. Arcane Phoenix exceptional spell damage increased by 50%. And Arcane Phoenix will now only use single target spells in PvP. Fix an issue that caused Arcane Phoenix to occasionally cast a player's version of Meteorite. Okay, so you guys are Kael'thas. You guys are Kael'thas mages in 11.1, I think. Definitely going to want to check out Sun Fury with the change, especially for what we saw for Arcane up above. But that's making the Phoenix a lot better in PvP. And we see Stormbringer changes here for Elemental, I think. The Storm Conduit PvP talent now additionally reduces interrupt duration suffered while casting Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning by 30%. So you got to lose a PvP talent to get the Storm Conduit. Gives you a little bit of interrupt reduction. This build is obviously really reliant on casting, and you're just going to get kicked out silly, basically. I don't know if it's enough. And they're giving the same one to Resto. They really want you to cast Lightning Bolt. You just don't have any time. Except this one will reduce the interrupt duration of Lightning Bolt by 50%. So you can maybe bait a kick with it, but you still can't heal, right? You kick on Lightning Bolt as Resto, you're kind of screwed defensively from healing. I just feel like using Lightning Bolt as Resto is like so impossible. You just, maybe with the buffs they just got to Farseer, maybe you'll have more time where you can actually do it. But, unlike the other healers that get some sort of healing output while they're doing damage, they prune Ancestral Guidance that maybe could have done that. I don't think it does, though, for Resto Shaman. These ones don't seem that great. This seems like a big dub this update for this week seems like a big dub for mages and hunters in particular, but that's the end of the changes here so far. And if there are any more, obviously I'll be relaying them to you as things go along. So thank you guys very much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.